Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the jaw-dropping breakthroughs and, honestly, the intense skepticism surrounding the sudden rise of humanoid robotics. We are standing at a really fascinating crossroads right now, and we're going to focus heavily on one of the most hyped machines on the planet, Figure 03. We'll look at the incredible engineering, sure, but we'll also examine the controversies and ask, is what we're seeing a true technological miracle or just a masterclass in marketing? Okay, picture this. A brutal 10-hour warehouse sorting match. In one corner, you've got Amai Gerard, a 22-year-old human intern. And in the other, the Figure 03 robot, affectionately nicknamed Bob. For 10 straight hours, they stood side by side, picking up packages, finding the barcodes, and placing them on a conveyor. Now, the physical toll on the human was immense. By the end of it, Amai's fingers were just covered in painful blisters from all that cardboard friction. And he said his left forearm felt basically broken. He needed water, he needed bathroom breaks, and he just needed to rest. Bob, on the other hand, completely tireless. It just kept sorting, occasionally swapping out its battery, and maintaining this entirely flat, unwavering pace.
Now, the final margin of this battle is honestly terrifying for human labor. Technically, yes, Ame won by sorting 192 more packages. But when you break that down, the gap comes out to a measly 0.04 seconds per package. Just 0.04 seconds. And this brilliantly illustrates a key point. Robots don't actually need to be faster than us. They just need to never get tired. In short bursts, sure, human hands are incredible. But as our reaction times drop and our grip strength weakens over a long shift, the robot's flat consistency suddenly becomes an unbeatable advantage. Figure CEO even called this the tortoise and hare moment, suggesting, this might literally be the last time a human ever wins a match like this.
Section 1. Under the robotic hood, how Figure 03 operates. So, to understand exactly how Figure 03 outlasts a human, we have to look past its external shell. We are moving far, far away from the stiff, messy hydraulics of old-school robotics. Instead, Figure 03 uses electric actuators with a quasi-direct drive. You can think of these as high-resolution muscles that give their robot instant, super-responsive movement. It runs on a 2.3 kilowatt-hour battery pack that can last up to 5 hours. But here is the unsung hero of the whole setup, active cooling. You see, all those GPUs and batteries generate a massive thermal load, so Figure actually built cooling channels right into the frame to stop overheating. Finally, they cover the whole thing in pinch-point-free clothing, which stops factory debris from getting inside and ruining the gears. But, as we know, hardware is absolutely nothing without a brain. Figure 3 relies on its onboard Helix O2 AI model, powered by NVIDIA RTX GPUs for real-time processing. It actually sees the world through stereo cameras that have a 60% wider field of view, drastically cutting down on latency. And check this out. Its fingertip sensors can detect forces as incredibly light as 3 grams. That's literally like feeling a paperclip slipping out of your hand before it even falls. All of this data feeds into a system that is constantly solving complex physics equations in real time, hundreds of times a second, just to keep the robot perfectly balanced. And that balance leads us to this really incredible number, 6.5 miles per hour. Figure 3 isn't just shuffling around awkwardly. It can confidently navigate real-world environments at a human jogging pace. It achieves this natural stride where the arms swing in perfect sync with the legs, adapting to the physics of the moment. It really proves these robots aren't just fragile lab projects anymore, right? They are actively preparing to move through our world at our speed. The engineering sounds total miraculous. But as the technological hype reaches an absolute fever pitch, we have to pause and ask, are we being fooled by PR? A lot of critics are slowing down the tape, adopting an investigative lens, and asking if these robotic miracles are actually just smoke and mirrors. Section 2. Are the demos real? The skeptic's reality check. So, some intense skepticism has been raised by analysts who argue that these heavily choreographed demonstrations might actually be hiding a much less advanced reality. Let's look at a few of the red flags they point out. First off, the famous laundry demo. The CEO originally posted a video claiming the robot was doing laundry in his actual home, but analysts proved by meticulously matching floor tiles and background art that it was actually a controlled test facility. And that's a massive difference when it comes to proving a robot's AI can handle unstructured environments. Second, Figure claimed a fleet of robots was performing end-to-end operations at a BMW plant. But BMW later clarified it was just a single robot doing one simple, repetitive task off hours. And third, BMW reportedly didn't replace that Figure robot with a newer Figure model. They supposedly selected a competitor, Hexagon Robotics, for their big 2026 factory rollout. But here is perhaps the most fascinating piece of the skeptic's puzzle. During a massive 200-hour live stream of the robot sorting packages, eagle-eyed viewers noticed an anomaly. When the robot failed to pick up a black package, it immediately reached its left hand up to its head. Critics argue this makes absolutely zero sense for an AI, but it makes perfect sense if a human teleoperator was remotely controlling the robot and just needed to quickly push up a slipping VR headset to see better. So we're left with a pretty stark contrast here. The company vehemently denies any teleoperation, insisting their neural networks, specifically that Helix system, are fully driving the actions autonomously. Critics, on the other hand, accuse them of deceptive teleoperation to fake advanced capabilities, pointing directly to behavioral quirks like that head touch. Now, we aren't here to take sides, but this debate highlights just how absolutely critical transparency is going to be as this entire industry grows. For now, observers are just left to weigh the physical evidence against the corporate pledges. Section 3. The global humanoid race, beyond a single company. Regardless of the debates around figure AI, the broader race is undeniably accelerating. A direct comparison between the two biggest players shows two very distinct industry strategies. Figure 03 is entirely focused on organic, lifelike motion and the sheer perfection of movement. Their intelligence is built from scratch around human coordination. Tesla's Optimus, however, takes an engineering-first, industrial approach. Tesla is leveraging its massive automotive manufacturing ecosystem and its autonomous car driving data to really scale Optimus up. So Figure is currently winning on agility and lifelike motion, but Tesla, they are aiming to win on sheer manufacturing volume. But hey, it's not just Figure and Tesla in this race. Take Boston Dynamics' new electric Atlas. It is out there hauling 100-pound loads and auto-correcting its balance in real time. Then you have Unitree's H2 out of China, which is literally terrifying people online by outputting 360 newton-meters of torque in these superhuman kicks that completely explode watermelons. It's wild. Meanwhile, the Kepler K2 robot is already out there doing the highly dangerous work of high-altitude industrial welding, controlled safely by a human operator on the ground. The competitive landscape right now is massive, and it is moving incredibly fast. And the aggressive schedule set by competitors shows this is absolutely not some 10-year sci-fi dream. Tesla expects initial production of Optimus to begin literally within months. They're rolling out AI5 silicon later this year, targeting AI6 tape-out, which just means the finalization of the chip's physical design, for late 2026, and they are aiming for high-volume mass production of robots by mid-2027. The underlying AI brains and hardware supply chains are literally preparing for a massive scale-up over the next 24 months. Section 4. The future of labor, when the machines take over. As we zoom out from the specific hardware specs and all the PR controversies, we really have to confront the ultimate endgame of this technological arms race. Figure's CEO envisions a world with 10 billion humanoids on the planet. I mean, just think about that number for a second. That is more robots than human beings. The stated goal across this entire industry is to make physical labor a choice, effectively freeing humanity up to do whatever else it desires. But that leaves us with a really profound question. What happens to society when physical labor becomes obsolete? As these robots learn to run, to weld, to carry our heavy loads, and potentially even build each other in giant autonomous factories, how will human purpose adapt when the heavy lifting of the world is entirely outsourced to machines? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.